Ladies, gentlemen, they, thems, it's me, Sibs Matiela, which means you are watching the Private Property Podcast. Because no one's given me another job yet, but I do like it here very much, don't get it twisted. Listen, you know why we're here? We're here to talk about all things property, because at privateproperty.co.za, our aim, our true heart's calling is to connect you to the heart of property. Today is no different. I am bringing you an expert in the property game who is going to answer some of your burning questions. Today, specifically, we are discussing the magic of real estate. I want to begin by giving a disclaimer that I know I said experts in property, but I'm not sure. But let's see what happens during this episode, because we are being joined by none other than Brendan Peel, who is a mentalist and a magician and an illusionist and a
something or other like that, yes. Hello, yeah, and thanks for having me on here. It's great to be here.
Tell me what?
Just what? Yes.
You know what I'm asking you? What?
What is a magician? What is a mentalist?
Yes, like.
Yes, I know. So
how?
basically,
when?
yeah, so I do different types of magic like mentalism and traditional illusions and tricks. Some stuff you may have seen, types of things on TV. The main thing I tend to do is a type of magic called mentalism, which is basically magic of the mind. So creating the illusion of getting inside of your heads just a little bit, which we might try something later if you are interested in seeing something.
When did you start this? How did you learn this? And what were your parents doing at the time instead of watching you?
You know, exactly. Well, sometimes they did watch me do some magic, to be fair.
Okay.
But no, so basically, I mean, I started off just having a general interest in magic by watching kind of TV shows with these magicians that like are doing crazy stuff on TV. I was watching that and I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. Now, in my head when I'm 9 or 10, I'm like, there's no ways I could possibly do this. But I got a magic kit, read a few books, and from there, I would say the rest is history, but history is still in the making as we speak. So, yeah.
All right. So you're a magician, a mentalist, an illusionist, just this magical guy.
Well, yeah, I try to be.
Tell me, how can you afford to buy a house?
So,
we're here to talk about property.
Yes. No, of course. So the thing is that the entertainment industry, when it is going good, it's going great. I'm sure you can attest to that, as well as.
Thank you, private property.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously COVID did throw a span in the works, but above all else, yes, I am a magician and a mentalist, but above that, I am also a businessman, if you want to call me that. I am an entrepreneur. I've even studied business. I have my master's in business. My MBA.
Okay, come through.
Yeah, from Rhodes University. Shout out to Rhodes.
Shout out to Rhodes as well.
Yes. Okay, we have 2 Rhodens right over here. So, yes, I obviously love magic as an art form, and that is what I kind of do. It's my passion, and I love doing it. But again, over and above that, I do kind of run what I do as a business. In fact, I also actually book other artists and entertainers. So I guess you could call me a bit of like an entertainment semi-mini entertainment agent as well when it comes down to it. So I got my fingers in all sorts of pies. I also invest in a bunch of things, including property, of course, which is why we're here. So there's a number of different avenues, I suppose, of income that will allow one to be able to buy a house. Whether it's just magic tricks or not is very difficult.
I was going to say,
but it is possible.
Do the mentalist people into like giving you better deals and stuff?
Well, there is some things within that you kind of can, because there is genuine psychological kind of principles within mentalism. And when you're trying to buy or sell a house, there is obviously a lot of psychology at play. There's even minor parts of NLP, which some viewers might know kind of what that is. That's involved in any kind of sales, whether it be a house, a car.
What is what?
It's neuro-linguistic programming,
Okay,
which basically
thank
means, for those of you who don't know, essentially it's pacing. It's a whole bunch of different types of things under that. But the main part that you would use in sales is the art of suggestion. So it kind of lends itself to hypnosis as well, where I can try and suggest to you in a way to do something or say something that I want you to do, if that makes sense. Now, I know it's very difficult to do it exactly. In fact, it's not an exact science. It can't work 100% of the time.
First of all, I know what you're doing. My arm and hand were already like this.
Yes.
And you copied me. So
Yes.
you didn't suggest
So
that
I'm just
to me.
no, but I'm getting in rapport with you. But good noticing on that.
Yeah.
So anyone who's
You
trying
won't
to sell,
catch me. Mama didn't raise no fool.
no, of course, it's not always about catching and things like that. But if you know some of these principles, especially if you're trying to actually sell the house or buy the house, you can put that into play. Like I said, not an exact science.
So if someone's kind of feeling like iffy about someone trying to sell them a property, for instance,
Yes.
what would be the tells be?
Well, I think it's very difficult because every person is a bit different. But one thing is definitely for sure, a lot of people make this mistake is when people think that when someone is lying to them, that their natural instinct is to think, if they look away, they are lying. Actually, science and psychologists have actually proven that it's more likely for people to actually stare you directly in the eyes when lying to you, as opposed to looking away. Believe it or not.
Which is where the saying, you lied to my face, has come from.
Yes, possibly. But a lot of people think it's, when you look away, it's actually more natural to talk to someone and kind of look away.
Yeah.
As opposed to looking direct. There's also a thing like looking up to the left or right, recalling memories or making things up. That is also the case for the people who are watching that know about that.
Yeah.
But one of the main things is it's not also like it's not 100% of the time, but if someone's looking you directly in the eyes and for every other part of the conversation, they're looking away or just being more natural, and all of a sudden they tell you, oh yes, I don't know, the square meterage is this amount, and they're looking directly in your eyes when they haven't previously. There might be something there that you should just double check.
Hectic.
So
for instance, like if you ask your spouse, are you looking at other people's pictures on Instagram? And they look you straight in the eye and they say no.
Again, not an exact science.
You know what's up. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah.
You have won an award.
I've won a few awards, but recently won one.
Not just one.
Not just one, but I've won a few over the course of the last, I guess, 5-6 years since 2017. I've been winning awards. Yeah.
The most recent one being in 2022.
Yes, actually, I won 2 this year. One was the Silver Ovation Award for my show that's called Impossible.
Okay.
And that was, I won it at the National Arts Festival. That show I've been touring now. I also took it to the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland, and then I've been touring it on cruise ships around the world. But I did win an award for that one, which is quite a big deal, that particular award. And then I also won Entertainer of the Year, which is actually from a business events award. I won Entertainer of the Year 2022, which was also a lovely surprise. So shout out to the NMBBEA for giving me that.
But you've also been on Britain's Got Talent.
Yes, I've been on Britain's Got Talent.
You're not British?
No, but the thing is that they do bring in kind of artists from all over the show.
Okay.
As you can see, the Ndlovu Youth Choir. I don't know if you are familiar with them. Lovely people. I've actually done a couple of gigs with them in the past as well. Yeah, nice people.
What did you play?
Well, we were on the same bill, so they went on and did, and then so that's what I mean by gigs. We weren't on the stage at the exact same time.
Performing, and then you were like.
No, that would be great though. So,
there.
Ndlovu Youth Choir, shout out if you ever want to work together. I'm very happy to do that. But they were obviously also on like America's Got Talent. I was on Britain's Got Talent.
I'm asking you this. I'm getting to something.
Okay.
So you've obviously traveled and like lived in different places.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is Johannesburg, and South Africa has always been more of like my base. I am originally from Port Elizabeth, or now known Gqeberha. where I'm actually from.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have kind of resided when I do the cruise ship things. I do go away for a few months at a time. And I guess I live away in like Europe or,
What's your favorite place?
Sure, that is a difficult one. I really like the Canary Islands. That was really cool. And I
To
like
live in.
it's very difficult to say to live in, because usually I go into these places, go in and I enjoy it, and then I leave kind of shortly afterwards. I'm never there for a long period of time.
Yeah.
To really live, I would say my favorite place is definitely South Africa. I love SA.
Pick a city.
I gotta go with PE. I gotta go with my hometown, Port Elizabeth. But I do like Durban as well. It just gets a bit hot. And Joburg as well. You know what? Joburg's all right as well.
Where's your house?
Well, I have a place.
How many houses do you have?
So,
Are you
basically, well, it depends how you define that. I'm rich when it comes to personal connections and things. But yes, I also do have a flat in PE and one here in Joburg. Yes, and what I'd like to see as property. And I've also invested in kind of digital assets when it comes to property. Now, there are a lot of scams out there, as I'm sure you're aware, with buying into like a pool of people that are all buying into one property, and then you see the returns on that. There's different platforms. I'm sure you probably spoke about that on other with other professionals in the podcast. But I have looked into that very much so. Something with the property that I have kind of really pushed and looked into and invested in and actually currently do is Airbnb. So I don't know if I can shout out to Airbnb, but shout out to Airbnb. They're great. And the reason being is largely just because...
You're not there.
Well, yes. And also it's if it's in the right location and it's the right time of year, you can easily make much more from renting out via Airbnb to like as like a little B&B basically, as opposed to just renting it flat every month. Sure, it is a bit more work because obviously you have to, kind of constantly have people coming in and out, but you kind of have to maintain either way, really.
Brendan, we've done an episode about Airbnb.
Okay.
Please, I want to know from you is these flats that you own all over the country, all over South Africa, because you're a rich guy from Port Elizabeth, but you go to the Canary Islands once in a while. Goodness. My question is, how do you get a bond?
Yes. Okay. So that is an interesting question, and it was one that was very difficult. Because basically it's been such a struggle up until now. I have been kind of living, I suppose maybe under the radar a little bit prior to like 2019, 18, I would say.
Do you mean you weren't famous yet?
No, well, yeah, but also, I mean, it was difficult to kind of start my own business and basically pay myself. And once you have actually started your own legitimate business and you're self-employed and you can basically pay yourself, you can get the pay slips to show how much you're getting paid per month and things like that. Like with any kind of bond that you're going to apply for, you would come with this and say, I'm making X amount per month. And, then the bank would say, oh, we can, this is kind of feasible what you can kind of be offered.
You.
So that's kind of how I did it. It is very difficult though, because my craft and just entertainers in general, but definitely the magic kind of world, it is very much, it's so sporadic and erratic with the whole, so the whole kind of, you have a month of full gigs, like December, November, for example, was crazy. And, you're killing it.
Easter time.
Yes.
Bunnies.
No, yes, of course. And then, so there's different times a year that so it's difficult to really kind of get that stability. But I think I'm at a position now where I do have that stability of kind of knowing what each year I can afford and things like that. And like I said, I have also invested in other things, cryptocurrencies and all that.
So with all of these investments and all of your many properties that you own across the country,
two,
and your big MBA, what would you suggest for like people who are trying to go into property in the next year?
So okay, I would suggest now,
especially people let's say
Yeah.
other magicians,
Yes.
other
Okay.
illusionists.
Okay. Well, I'd say entertainers, because entertainers were all in the same boat.
Yeah.
But also, I also do try and look at the greater scheme of things, of how things are going. So, number one, for me in property, and I know we did mention PE here a few times, but definitely look at like Joburg versus PE. Joburg, how it has developed. It is still obviously developing, especially on the outer kind of areas of the city. I mean, it's a forever growing
the
city.
city is full.
But think about your return on investment that you would buy a property in, like, let's say, Santon, versus a property that is in PE, for example. In fact, you can actually go and Google this. So basically, they came out with a story that was essentially the highest return on investment of property in the whole country currently is in Port Elizabeth. And I think the reason for that is because it is still it is obviously a city. There's almost 1 million people that actually live there, but there's so much more room for development in places like that. There's also places just outside of Cape Town, smaller towns. There's places like Langebaan and stuff like that that are still, I just use that as an example, but they are still actually in a verge of that growth potential is higher, in my opinion, than in cities that are already established. Like, look at London, for example. Why would you buy? I don't want to
look at London. What is your tip for South Africans?
Okay, tips for South Africans. But I'm just using.
We get it. You were on Britain's Got Talent. We know.
Okay, no, fair enough. I just had to throw that out there again. But no, okay. My tip for South Africans would be, if you can afford to do the whole Airbnb route. And that would be my suggestion when you want to invest in property. Obviously, if you want to live in the space yourself, then try and find a space that is in a decent area, and obviously an area that's nearby to your work, if you have like a legit job going in every day. I mean, that's kind of a different kettle of fish. But if you're looking to invest in kind of property as a like an Airbnb situation, then I would say definitely look at places where it's untapped kind of potential that's there, so that you can literally go on Airbnb or any kind of similar site and look like how many of these places are around in this area. Oh, there's only a small scattering here in PE or wherever, Richards Bay, for example.
Na Boomspruit.
Yeah, somewhere like that, you know. Maybe there's only 2 Airbnbs in the whole place. So it would make more sense to start one there. And also probably your property there is much cheaper as well to buy, because it's still a developing area. So that would be my one of my hot takes on all that.
Okay, cool. As I'm trying to buy a property,
okay,
are there any like magic words I can say to the seller, and then they'll be like, have this for free, it's yours?
So one thing, okay, there's no like serious one magic word. Maybe please, maybe, but
that never works.
No. But one thing you definitely, people are generally always happy to negotiate, generally speaking. It's not like a total blanket statement like 100% of the time, but a lot of people are always willing to negotiate. And also one thing I can say to anyone who's wanting to buy any kind of property is there's no harm in at least asking, right? So if they're asking, I mean, obviously there is some parameters within that. You can't be ludicrous. Like if they're asking for 2 million, you can't ask for like 100,000 to pay. You know what I'm saying? But there's no harm in just putting it out there, saying, this is what I'm happy to pay. Maybe it's 10 or 15% below. Because I think when most people put their properties on kind of sale, they kind of are anticipating, we're kind of happy enough to go maybe 10, 15% less, maybe slightly less than 10% as well. But we're kind of happy to go a little bit less than our actual asking price. So if you go a little bit lower than what they actually want, you might meet in the middle and obviously save, which is, I think, a valid thing to do.
Brendan, you keep telling me very sensible things.
I know. You want me to say something crazy?
I'm asking for Jedi mind tricks. I'm asking for the illusion. I'm asking for the mentalist. I'm asking for Dr. Bull.
Look, it's one thing to do in a show or like, person to person, to kind of get in someone's mind, but there is a whole nother thing when there is, let's say, a whole house hanging in the balance, because these people obviously will be a bit more closed off or heavily guarded when it comes to that type of thing. Equally, just on that point, when it comes to the suggestion, which is kind of what you're talking about, the Jedi mind tricks, which is also in line with hypnosis, you can never hypnotize or suggest to someone something that they would never actually do. So if you would never actually kill someone, I can't hypnotize you to go and kill someone because it's just not in your nature. It's not built in and wired in you. So also, it might not be wired in some people to sell their property for a ridiculously low amount, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, yes, we could hypnotize people and get a lot of cheaper properties. Yes. There might be some people out there that we can, but yeah. Leave a comment below if you're one of those people, yeah.
Are there any tricks you can teach me?
Tricks I can teach you. There's tricks I can maybe show you if you want. Do you want to see something cool? Now, this is something a little bit more experimental because I do want to try something with your mind. Obviously, I think you're a very strong-minded person.
Thank you.
Very much so. I think you're very on it with the whole hand and arm thing earlier.
Yeah,
you
saw
picked
it,
up that.
yeah.
You're very, very sharp. So I don't know if this is 100% going to work, but let's give it a bash, all right?
Okay.
So what I have over here, and I'll bring this forward over here, I have a piece of paper, okay?
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I have no idea if this is actually going to work, but if I may, I will just place this in front of your microphone, okay? Call this a little bit of a prediction of sorts, okay? We're going to get to that in a minute or two, okay? I also have some books here. I actually just grabbed some random books just off my bookshelf before coming. Now, basically, we're going to start off. Firstly, we pick a book. We're going to use both books, but just pick one book for now.
This one.
This one over here, City Lights. Okay, we are going to use this one later. In fact, I'll put it on top there. You can just leave it there for now. Okay. So what I would like you to do, Sibs, is I would like you just to go ahead, take the book. You can hold it up to yourself, obviously, and just open up anywhere kind of in the middle or anywhere. Like, just let me know once you've opened. And anywhere you like.
Opened.
Okay, fantastic. Now, maybe you can either look, obviously there's left and right pages. Look on one of the sides, one of the pages. Is there writing on that page? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so just scan your eyes up and down that page and let one long word pop out. Do not say it out loud, but make it like a 7, 8, or even more letter
What
word.
if you've memorized these books?
Then that will be even greater than the trick itself, I tell you that much.
Long word.
If there's an 8-letter word, 7-letter word, 9-letter word, is there, because obviously we have short words, so just put your finger on any one of those words. You got one, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it like a few letters, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So take a look. Can you just memorize that word?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to take a card out of here for now. I'm going to take a card. Can you memorize that word, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Slide this card in here as a little bit of a bookmark. Just remember the exact spelling of that word, but just
Yeah.
put that in as a bookmark. Keep remembering your word, right? Now, this is an experimental thing. You can close that book. You can place it down for now. We're going to get back to that in a minute or two. Now, you can see here my lovely handwriting. Apologies, my handwriting is not that great, but what can you do, all right? I'm going to try and get some of the letters. So just look at the various letters and keep spelling out your word. Now, I think it is about an 8-letter word. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Just look at the letters. You just keep spelling it over and over. I might not get it exactly in order, but I'm going to try to get some of your letters. So you're going to start wherever you're starting and just keep moving to the letters. Even if once you've finished around the board, keep going around again. Does that make sense?
You're going to follow my eyes.
Okay, but this is just, a bit of personality and eye reading and body language reading, okay? So go ahead. I think there might be a T somewhere in there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Keep doing. You're absolutely doing great. Just keep going. Just keep reading it kind of in your mind. Okay, I think there's an R. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Even I'm trying to look now. Oh, yes, you're looking up here at the I. Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. In fact, keep going.
No.
And you're thinking of the A, somewhere in there's an A, yes?
Yes.
Okay, keep going. You're doing absolutely great. There's an N.
Shut up.
Keep going. There's, I think, an E somewhere there, yes? Is it an E?
Yes.
Now, okay, Were you going back to the R? Was there 2 R's by any chance?
What the heck?
Okay. And the final, I think there's one last letter, and I think that's an S. Is that correct? And that's all 8 letters, yes? And what was your word?
Restrain.
Restrain. Okay, fantastic. We didn't get them exactly in order, but I tell you what, go back to the bookmark, open up to your bookmark over there. You're doing absolutely great, by the way. Obviously, and
I serve a living God.
open up the page and actually show me there. Which page was it on? Where was it? There.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that page number, and what I would like you to do is open up this book over here to that page number, okay? Now, obviously, we've met before, but we have not set up or prearranged anything. Is that correct?
I love you, Jesus.
But seriously, we have not set up or prearranged anything, correct?
No.
Okay, fantastic. Turn over to that page. Firstly, what page number was it?
144.
144. Are you on page 144 in that
No,
book?
I'm on 114.
Okay. What was it? Do you want to just double check?
Yeah.
Was it this page here?
Yeah,
The
144.
Okay, 144. But flip through, make sure
How
that is a
was
genuine
it
book.
you?
Make sure that's a genuine book. All those pages, of course, different, as you know. Now, are you on page 144 there?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Obviously, we could have landed on any page. Just take a look at is there a decent word on the first word of that page?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like a blank page or anything like that. There's a genuine word there. And into the microphone, what is that word? In fact, show the camera as well. The first word on that page, page 144, what is it?
Must I say it?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
And you say that is the word allegedly, right? Yeah. Now, is there any possible way I really could have known that? Genuinely. Genuinely, really.
This book about Ronda Bosch, UK football teams. I don't know.
You don't know, allegedly. No. But genuinely, there is no. In fact, you could have obviously landed on, you could have gone here, which is 132, which is that, which would be a bit lame.
Yeah.
That's what, etc., etc. You get the picture. You were allegedly.
Yeah.
There's been something sitting in front of you the entire time. That piece of paper, have I gone near it at all?
I don't know. Can you stand up and empty your pockets?
Yes, there will be phones and things. But genuinely, you can rewatch the video. I did not touch that at any point. Please take that piece of paper and go ahead and open it up and show everyone and show the camera exactly what it says.
It obviously says allegedly.
Go ahead. Nice and big over there. And read it out. What does that say? Indeed. And that is allegedly.
It says allegedly. It says allegedly.
Just like that. Thank you so much.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. Don't stress.
How did you do that?
Very well, thank you. No, I'm kidding around. But thank you so much. You did absolutely great there.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully that was something unique, something different, something you've never seen before.
How did you do it?
Yes, maybe we can chat off camera about that type of thing at a later stage.
Oh, I'm so scared. I need to phone my ancestors. I'm going to go home and light some candles so my ancestors can protect me. Brendan, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where are you performing this December?
Oh,
Where can people find you?
Oh, yeah, find me on...
They also want to allegedly with you.
Oh, yes, we can do it. In fact, it'll be really good fun. My next big shows are going to be in Umhlanga. So there's the Balazar is the name of the restaurant right over there. And I'll be doing it from, I think, the 18th to the 21st of December. I am also doing shows around Joburg and across South Africa. So please make sure you find me on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. Go find me on Tinder. No, I'm kidding around. Don't find me on Tinder. But definitely Instagram and Facebook at Brendan Peel Magic. I would love to see you there and see you at one of my next shows. And I would love to see you at one of my next shows as well. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the Private Property Podcast. You guys were absolutely great.
Best of luck to you for your December gigs and the rest of 2023 and the rest of your life. Listen, that's all we have for you this evening. I'll see you soon.